Fighter jets intercept a passenger plane after a child changes the Wi-Fi name to terrorist. More than a third of college students check social media while having sex. And a coffee shop was found to be secretly operating as a strip club. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian in a closet. Just trying to make a mark on the culture. Fighter jets had to intercept a passenger plane after a child changed the Wi-Fi name to terrorist. We have here Israeli fighter jets. They had to scramble and intercept what's called a Wizz Air flight. Have you heard of Wizz Air? Don't want to be standing underneath Wizz Air. I'll probably get Wizz in my hair. Come on, guys. Wizz Air. Who's naming this? Now, this Wizz Air flight was going from Luton to Ben Gurion Airport on Sunday afternoon when apparently panic engulfed the cabin. A passenger reportedly spotted what appeared to be a threatening message on a mobile phone belonging to a particular couple. The couple appeared to be ultra-Orthodox, it says. I assume they mean ultra-Orthodox Jewish? All right. I don't know why that's important to say in this piece, but apparently they want you to know that. The crew informed the control tower at Ben Gurion Airport, and they sent some fighter jets to escort the plane. However, security threat that they thought it was not. It turned out that terrorist was the name of a Wi-Fi hotspot. The couple's son had changed the name of the access point on his parents' phone to, quote, terrorist, before they boarded the flight. Right before they boarded the flight? What is this kid? Wow, we got a prankster here. Not very cool, though. One of the passengers, named Desi, told the media that they noticed the plane looping in the air before fighter jets began circling the plane. Now, that would make me lose my marbles. Right there. Marbles? I was going to say another word, but it was not appropriate. Yeah, I mean, you don't expect to be flying on a passenger plane and then all of a sudden see fighter jets circling your aircraft. I mean, I would have to check my drawers for an accident, I think. Now, the Wizz airplane landed safely in Israel before security personnel checked all of the passengers. This passenger, Desi, says again, quote, "The first thing we noticed upon landing was the number of police officers and security forces waiting for us. It was a very, very stressful moment for us all." The airport authorities released a statement saying, due to suspicion of suspicious behavior on the plane. Due to suspicion of suspicious behavior. That seems a little redundant. Yeah, we had some suspicion. Of what? Well, suspicious behavior. And how did you respond? Very suspiciously. Okay, yes, due to suspicion of suspicious behavior on the plane, they say, security forces acted according to the procedures for such a case. The incident ended, the plane landed, and it was found there was no actual incident after all. Just a child playing a prank. They think it's so funny. Oh, man, I would lose it on my child if he or she did this. This is why I can't have kids, because I mean, if my kid did this, I would do something on the plane to the kid that others would report me. They would report me. I mean, my parenting method would be too, I guess you could call it old school for what modern times. They're going to be none of this timeout activity. That's a bunch of nonsense. Timeout. Oh, go sit over there. You just cost us $2,500 in plane tickets. Just go sit in the corner for 10 minutes. That'll teach you. No, I don't think so. We had timeout when I was a kid. It was the amount of time I was unconscious after I got smashed in the head for doing whatever I did, which was probably inappropriate, and I deserved to be knocked out. But look at it. It made me a very well-rounded individual, as you could see. All right, we got another quote from a Wizz Air spokesman. How'd you like to work for Wizz Air? I'm the CEO of Wizz. I mean, where did they come up with this name? Didn't anybody in the boardroom tell them, hey, you know, whiz is another word for pissing? Piss. Whiz. They're interchangeable. No one was aware of that. All right, they just went forward, filed the paperwork for Wizz Air. There's a logo, I'm sure. Anyway, the spokesperson for Wizz Air said they can confirm that the flight landed safely. The safety of the passengers is their utmost priority. You know what they say, all that same old unoriginal crap. I would be livid at this family and this child if my flight was diverted and I was delayed because of this, little screw around. You think it's all fun and games to throw around the word terrorist while you're traveling in public and all that stuff. It's not fun and games anymore. People take this very, very seriously. You may think it's a joke, but we've been very much sensitized to react to this. If you want to joke around with your friends like this, yeah, sure, okay, in the privacy of your own circle of pals. But in public with strangers, you can't mess around, man. You will be investigated. This is why you got to be careful with what you call your banking transactions as well. I mean, we all think it's fun, right? We put a Venmo transaction with our friend, and then we write, "Thanks for the butt stuff." I mean, and that's all well and good, right? We get a big laugh. Oh, thank a bag of vibrators, penis reduction operation. That's my favorite one. But when you start going into the area of like hitman fee, drug lab rental, bazooka purchase. I mean, some of these are the banks look at this stuff, and you're gonna get a call or an email, or I'd imagine they take this stuff seriously. If you write a human trafficking charge, like, you're definitely getting a call. And lastly, I'll say, if you're not parenting your children, please parent them, because the rest of us shouldn't have to. More than a third of college students check their social media or text during sex. This is a poll of 10,000 college students conducted by some campus-based apps, and they revealed some surprising results about their sex lives. Apparently, more than a third said they've texted or scrolled social media while having sex. How long are these kids having sex? Have they got time to scroll on the apps? Reply to text messages? What are they checking social media? Hang on, babe. I just want to see if my post got any likes. All right. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're doing it wrong. This is all wrong, and this is why no one's having babies anymore. The article says college students are bringing their phones to bed even if someone else is in the bed with them. This new poll showed that 35% of college students say they have text messaged or checked social media during sex. 24 students admitted to stopping mid-sex to text their mothers in the middle of sex. To text your mom. They can't wait? Hey, Mom, so I'm all up in that booty right now. What's going on? I mean, what are you writing your mother? And how permissible are these sexual partners of yours? They going to allow this? The sexual partners I've had in my lifetime, which there have been many, if I'd pulled this crap, they would be very upset that I'm bringing the attention away from them and not being in the moment. Really, to have good sex, you got to be in it. You got to be in the moment. I mean, to have good sex, anyways, in my opinion, you should be living in the present with your person or persons, whatever you're into, or your goat. I don't know. I'm not gonna king shame if you like to get it on with a goat. Just don't be on your phone when you're getting it on with the goat. How do you think the goat's gonna feel? I mean, my guess is pretty bad about that. Back to the article, it says these surprising sexual findings come from Valentine's Day polls conducted by some social media network apps such as Yik Yak, Side Chat. I've never heard of these. College campus-based apps. They asked 10,000 college students about their sex lives and social media. While the students kept their phones close for scrolling, most said they met their current or most recent partner the old-fashioned way, in person. Wow, that's actually nice to hear, that they're meeting in person. More than 70% said they met in person. Just 29% said they met online. Dorm life proved to be a bit scandalous for 7% of respondents who admitted to having sex while their roommate was in the room, awake. For 15% of those polled, they said they waited until their roommate was asleep to hook up. Well, how nice of them. Now, it says that's not the only boundary that gets a little blurry. 22% polled admitted to going through their partner's phone, quote, all the time. Really? I got some young listeners. Are you guys going through your partner's phone a lot? That's not okay, man. 15% admitted to doing it and regretting it. And a surprising 15% of those polled admitted to leaving a date to hook up with another person and said they'd do that again. Oh, all right. I'm not feeling very confident about the romantic lives of the youth going forward here. It says here half of the polls were conducted across 23 campuses, including Harvard University, Brown, Yale, Columbia, University of Pennsylvania, USC. Wow, these are like major Duke University, Tufts. These aren't like grimy secondhand universities here. These are Ivy League schools, and they're acting like this. Wow, it doesn't give me much confidence in trusting our future leaders. I mean, how are you going to perform your duties if you can't even put your phone down for at a half an hour, or if you're me, 5 minutes, however long sex is? It's is it considered sex if you're by yourself? A lot of questions here. I mean, I say you don't let them get away with this. If your partner acts like this, you need to, you need to put put the smack down. What do they call it? Set the rules, boundaries, man. Can't be doing this. How do you even recover after this mood killer, this boner destroyer of a move in the middle of sex? You answer a phone. Like, now all of the momentum has been removed from the situation. How do you even recover? What excuse are people using that they had to answer the phone during intimate moments like this? And who forgives them? I just don't get this. Maybe I'm sounding like an old person right now, Back in my day, there wasn't even social media. We talked to people on landlines while having sex. That's how we did it, and we paid like $4 or $5 a minute for that privilege as well. A coffee shop was secretly operating as a strip club. This story is out of Orange County, which is in Southern California. That's actually where I've spent Super Bowl Sunday, Orange County. This is out of Garden Grove. Residents say a business licensed as a coffee shop has been operating as a strip club, and they went undercover to investigate. The coffee shop is serving up much more than lattes. It's called DD Cafe. Wow, what gave it away that it was a strip club? The double D? I'm just going to guess. It says inside the Double D Cafe, women are serving a lot more than coffee. Undercover cameras captured female servers providing lap dances, offering private dances for cash, and telling customers they could bring alcohol inside for a small fee. Well, it sounds like today somebody learned about what Vietnamese coffee shops are. I'm familiar with these. First of all, Garden Grove's huge Vietnamese community here. It's adjacent to Westminster, another huge Vietnamese community in Orange County, Southern California. The Vietnamese got these coffee shops, man. Sometimes they're referred to as bikini cafes or lingerie cafes. They got some nice coffee. Got some girls serving it up, wearing, basically nothing. I wandered into one of these in a city in a little further north called San Jose. Have you heard of San Jose? Well, they have a Vietnamese community as well. I was driving back to LA from San Francisco, thought I would stop in a Vietnamese coffee shop in San Jose, and that's where I first learned of these bikini coffee shops. And I'm going to say it was a great experience. I mean, don't knock it till you try it. Have a nice lady in a G-string making you a pour over. That's a wonderful experience. Don't make the mistake of ordering the flat white. That's not what you want. Yeah, so anyway, I mean, it's not a mystery that these coffee shops are doing this. You can go to any of the Yelp reviews of these places and just kind of piece it together. Like, I had wonderful coffee, but wow, the girls were very nice to me. Like, the kind of reviews you get for a normal coffee shop aren't the kind of reviews you'll read when you're checking these places out. What are some of the other things that go on here behind the scenes? I don't know. There is, they serve usually coffee, smoothies, no alcohol, which is unlike a strip club. But I mean, I'm cool with that. I don't need booze to enjoy that. In fact, booze can lead to trouble at strip clubs from my experience. But yeah, they serve smoothies, they serve coffee, and they usually have Keno or something similar to Keno, like a little state lottery thing. So you can, there's old men in there drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, playing Keno, talking. Maybe they pay per hour or whatever to talk to these pretty girls. I don't know. I haven't been to too many, but I haven't seen anything crazy going on in there. Then again, I never went at night. I've only been during the day. Now, in this story, there's a former Garden Grove resident and news producer. Sounds like an independent, podcaster? Oh, I'm a news producer. Oh, what? What, do you got a Facebook page? This guy doesn't even live in Garden Grove anymore. He's making a stink. He says he raised concerns multiple times over the past year, contacting the city. He says everyone knows about this place and no one is doing anything about it. I got news for you, buddy. There's many more of these, not just this one. And why do you give a damn? I mean, this is like, why are you going to complain about the strip clubs in the area? How do you feel about Hooters? I mean, just show me victims, all right? Then we can have a chat about this. Now, for this article, they visited the Double D Cafe to ask the owner about the type of business being operated. A woman inside said she's in charge. She told them that it was, quote, only a coffee shop, then asked the media to leave. The owner was not available for comment. They also reached out to the city of Garden Grove, emailing officials, describing the undercover footage and requesting comment. No response was received. Yeah, because no one... they're not ruining the community. So, I mean, like, have you been to Garden Grove? How about you get the potholes fixed? Potholes. There's a ton of homeless people in this area as well. I mean, I was very surprised at the amount of homeless people in Garden Grove, of all places. I was like, what? How? I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. Not middle of nowhere, but it's like you would expect that in downtown LA, which is, yes, of course. But like in Garden Grove, it was weird to me. Yeah, my point is they got bigger problems than a coffee shop that's, women are in bikinis. I mean, why do you got to yuck people's yum, man? All right, it says after they reached out to the city and got no response, the Garden Grove Police Department announced on social media that they arrested 17 people at the Double D Cafe. The business was also red tagged, effectively ordering it closed. The police have not released details about what the 17 individuals were arrested for. It remains unclear what charges, if any, might be filed. Residents in the area said they're not surprised, saying similar businesses are an open secret in the city and that more enforcement is needed. Needed for what? I mean, I've been in these places. I'm telling you from firsthand experience, there's nothing crazy going on. Again, I've never been at night. But, I mean, they're serving smoothies and coffee, and there's old men in there smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes inside is probably a huge violation. That's not okay. But, like, you tell an 83-year-old uncle not to smoke a cigarette inside, see how far you get with that. But, like, I mean, this is not like a brothel or something. I think that's what people think. They think this is a brothel. I'll tell you right now, I've been in there. There's no sex in the latte room. I repeat, there's no sex in the latte room. Hello, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thank you so much for putting up with me today and my rants. If you're new to the show, just to let you know, this is the format here. I read some bizarre news stories that I come across and do my takes on them. Try and make it funny, do voices, add puns. It's not always successful. And it's very mood dependent, day of the week dependent, and weird news dependent. Sometimes we got slow weeks of weird news. I mean, this is the challenge of trying to do it 5 days a week. And it's really the only game in town for 5 day a week weird news. So please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm also looking for sponsors. I'm losing sponsors as subsequently losing money on the podcast. Not that I'm losing money. I'm just not making. I'm making less than I was, which was hardly anything to begin with. So and been losing sponsors the last couple months. I noticed. I think there's a downtrend in advertising on podcasts or something. I'm not sure how what the lay of the market is. Maybe somebody else knows what's going on. I don't know. But anyways, if any of you would like to be a sponsor for the podcast, just email me, funnyjones@gmail.com. Looking for sponsors. Be great to keep this podcast going. I mean, at the rate we're going, Jonesy might have to get a day job or something, which would mean, not so much podcast anymore. If you guys would like to support the show in any other way, tell a friend and try and spread the word about Weird AF News. That would be tremendous. Whatever app you're listening on, there's a share button, I'm sure. You could share it on your social media. Probably takes just a second. And that would also be very, very helpful. Pick an episode recently in your memory that you think is worthy of sharing, because they're not all worthy of sharing. Some of these episodes are like meh, just average. But then there's some real doozies, man. There's some bangers. I at least have 1 or 2 bangers a week, I'd say, worth sharing on social media. So yeah, share. Let your followers know that this is something that brings you joy in your life, and maybe they want to try it. And that costs you absolutely nothing but a little bit of your time. I would so appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. Hope you're having a wonderful day, night, morning, whatever it is. And good luck with your life, man.